Okay, we are live. So I thought to make a quick video on how I do this color grading on ZR footage, which is shot with a little bit high frames per second. That is because I want the image to be crispy. The workflow is very simple, it's nothing complicated, but the footage is from Nikkon ZR or ZR. I updated the firmware recently. I don't recall, but now it's April 16, 2026, so the update should correspond with the latest update that we have right now. And as you can see on screen, very few nodes. I created a small structure, then what exactly is the 7 exposure? Yeah, this is for the LUT. So LUT, this is white balance, this is the raw image in the sense straight from the camera. As usual, I need to quickly check if the live feed is on. Okay, we are live. Alright, so first what you do, you drag the files from the folder. Let's say you have these files like R3D files from Nikkon ZR, and then you drag that into a folder. Drag it from the folder to this, and then you select all, and then you press F9, and then it will be popped up like this. It's not that a big deal. Or you can drag these like that, one by one, to this timeline. Then you go into edit page and you cut, remove portions, or exchange clips, do the effects or whatever. Nothing fancy. Fusion, I'm not going into that now because I have very less knowledge on it, first of all, and this is very basic, it's not advanced at all. However, I'll try to give some of the techniques that I've learned in this video, so if you would like to take a look at it, then feel free. Okay, so first and the foremost thing that I do is the white balance. Then I go to lift, gamma, gain, temperature, saturation, exposures, and put a LUT in the end, and that's it. So in short, my requirement here is very simple. First of all, I actually did some adjustment here already. Okay. Alright, so let's start with this. You might be wondering why there is vignetting here. That is because I'm using on the full frame crop sensor lens, because the lens performance is very good. It's Filtrock 75 1.2, and that performance is very good. That's the reason I can't. I have Canon 85 L lens 1.4. I also have 70-200 f2.8, but I'm using this cheap lens because of the performance. It's super good, much better than even these high quality lenses. Okay, let's start with this frame because I have white shirt, and the first and foremost thing that I do, so you have to change it into clip, and then IPP2, that is image processing pipeline 2, red, white, gamut, RGB, and log 3G10. Might be a bit noisy because temperature is slightly low, sorry, high. Okay, so you change that from the project to clip, and then you get this. ISO is 800, that is by default 800, I guess. We could change, it's not a good idea, I'll leave it there, 800. And then chroma noise reduction, you could do this a bit later because that's going to take lots of CPU power, so to make it smoother you can check this later, but don't forget to check that once you do the edit. And you can try all of these, but it's not advisable. Log 3G10 is standard. Alright, so that is all about the raw page. Here nothing, here as of now nothing. Yeah, wait. So if you click this, and if you click it's very easy. You get, oh, that's me by the way. Hello everybody. So you see this is immediately changed it from the warm tone that I shot the camera. But we need to nail the image. There are many methods that you could use. Let's say vectorscope, and then if you will disengage the white balance, and I'm going to do an alternate manual method. I'll come to that really quick. It's yeah, you go into this and then you draw a line. A rough line is fine. This is only to, okay, then you press Shift H or click this Shift H. Okay, when you press Shift H and then you change this into the waveform, you see that, yeah. If you click this, then if you click on it, you see this has become white. I'll undo the action and then I'll do this again. Click this and then you click it, it becomes white. White as in my shirt is white. If let's say you increase the temperature, that is going to go apart. If you go to the cool side, that the blue color is gonna pop up and the red is gonna go to the other end. You go to the other side, red is gonna come up, green stays there, blue goes back. So the idea is if you can bring this as close as white, you probably get it right. So you see, even with yes, this has done a very good job. In fact, I'm gonna maximize it. You can see you can play with offset a bit. So for this reason, what I do, I will create one more node. Why is it not reflecting? Let's say okay. So what you have to do here, you need to remove this. That is when this is going to distribute that effect to the entire image. If you click that, it's gonna retain there. So if you switch it off, that's going to go to the entire image. You can see when you switch it off, it's going to go to the entire image. So now this is the entire image. If I switch it back on, and you have it. But you have to work this. I'm gonna save this to the other node and dismantle that so that I have a backup. Or I could do this and switch it on. So this I'm using it as a backup in case if I want to come back later. So here we'll try to tweak a bit. Go to the color page, see the offset. I would say I would yes, reset whatever change it has made. So for instance, what the change it has made, you can see a red dot here. It has adjusted the temperature, tint, and all of that stuff, isn't it? Reset. So rename it as backup, white balance. This is the auto control we did, and I'm gonna copy paste here. So we'll reset this. Sorry. What I'm trying to see here, what is the effect it has taken. So this is the normal. We'll dismantle this also. Okay. Sorry about this. We'll come back to what I was discussing. So the idea here is you keep the green constant, and then I'm gonna switch that red, the elevated portion of the red, towards the green slowly, like that. Then you bring the blue slightly up. This is very important because the alert we are going to, okay, so you see this is the image we get. I'm going to bring this on the top. This is the image we have with the manual white balance. This is the image we have, which is done automatically using this button. So you see there's slightly off there. This is more clean. I don't see much of a problem here. You can still tweak. If you want fine adjustment, then you go into the key node, the key output, and then you can reduce that. Then you will know, then you will have a fine adjustment. Anyhow, let's stick to coarse adjustment here. I don't think there is anything much to be done here. Maybe the blue is slightly out. That's as far as we can get. So you see it's much cleaner white. And then if I switch it off and I switch this on, it's not bad. But I'm going to go with the white balance that I have created manually. So this is the white balance group. And after that, once you're done, the effect will not be taking place, because you see the mask we created has come white, but the rest is not. So you need to go and switch off the mask here. That's when you get the rest of the things. So, well, I didn't iron my shirt, but I did it for the next shot. Okay. Now, at this point I can use LUT. So this is my LUT page, which is downloaded from the Red website. Free of cost. You can see this is the medium contrast, this is low contrast, this is high contrast, hard size, medium size, soft size, very soft, and medium contrast, low contrast, no contrast, hard, medium, soft, and very soft. So this is having a dreamy look, which I like it very much. Perhaps you might like this, or might like this, or depending on your skin, you might like this. In my case, the no contrast suits mine, because obviously I'm from Asia, and I have to finesse this a bit. So I'm gonna use this one. There, LUT's done. So you see, in about the LUT is this is a standard LUT, not creative LUT. So what this is doing, it's only changing it to Rec 709. And if you want a look node to be created, you need to create another look node here. To this node, you could go into, let's say, creative, which is not, you see this, not 709, meaning it's only creative. In short, this LUT will not transform your image from the raw data R3D to Rec 709. That's a conversion that we have done with this LUT, standard LUT, soft size, hard size. And I'm additionally using a look nut, LUT, sorry, nut, look LUT. You could use this fluorescent, whatever, say lush, red lush. I'm gonna use that for a bit to demonstrate this for you. And I'm going, this is not good. Reset. That's because it doesn't have any contrast at all. Or perhaps it might. Okay, no. Why doesn't I don't really understand what's going on there. Anyhow, I reduce the look node to say 0.4 maybe, and you see that fine image. So if you would switch it off, this is where it's coming to. From here we have reached here. There is a bit of noise in there. We need to reduce the noise for sure, but that's where it's standing. A drastic difference from here till here, from here till here, from here till here. Okay, but I'm not happy with the alert that I've chosen. Film bias, caustic. Something which gives me a clean look is this one does. For the sake of this live video, I'm gonna choose this one. Let's see. It's okay. Not the best, but well, at least chroma noise reduction, and the noise appeared to be gone a little bit. Okay, I'm kind of okay with this. Obviously you need to crop because it's crop sensor lens. So for that you go here and then you crop here. And let's say you want to crop this one to position something like this. But I'll do it later. Alright. Now what we can do, so white balance is done, LUT is done, look node is done. Then I'm not following the correct order. The temperature and the tint, let's adjust that a bit. There is some adjustment here that if you make it, all of these effects will be bypassed through these nodes. Now I need to click here in order to get the final look. Anyhow, let me quickly search on the internet. Click on middle node in DR. It is not showing final image. Oh yes, highlight mode is off. Standard behavior. Press Shift H. So if you press Shift H, that's going to get back. So now you can click here, not a problem. Okay, so let's say lift gamma gain. So that is this wheel lift. To do this you need to do a bit of cropping. Let me do, oh no, that's enough. Okay, save the project. So lift gamma gain. I'm gonna adjust the lift and see how this is going to craft to this image to a better one. You see it's going to affect the skin tone a lot, but if you not it, yeah, of course you can do gain, let's say 0.2, then you go there and then you can do fine adjustments. It won't show that much, so you see it's very, very light. I would say that's as far as I can come, minus 0.02. Likewise, gamma. And the gain. Before it was this, now it is this. Before it was this, now it's this. This is switch off. On, off. On, off. On, off. On, off. On, off. On. Temperature. Again, come to say 0.2, go into the temperature, look carefully at the skin. It's very cool, it's very warm. Go to the extreme end. Cool, warm, cool, warm, cool, warm, cool and warm. I'm forced to bring this to the negative side rather than to the right. It's a very time-consuming process. Please bear with me. I would say leave in you need to adjust this to further 0.1. Fine adjustments. Thing. I'll do this. Okay, same with the tint. Tint is, you always go a bit negative. You don't go into magenta side, it's not good. A tiny bit. Contrast, this is now the place we adjust the contrast. There's another note for that. I would rather adjust the contrast, but you don't have to adjust the contrast when you already put a LUT. If you go into fusion, then if you do, let's say, a LUT to cube analyzer, LUT to cube analyzer, analyzers. LUT cube creator, final LUT cube analyzer, LUT cube apply. I had done this some time ago. Unfortunately, I don't get. Sorry. What I was wanting to show it to you. Oh. Fusion is not connected here. What I wanted to show there was the RGB cube. You can see how much expanded these points towards the sides when you apply a LUT. So that when you create a contrast, for instance, you do editing spline on, editable splines, and then you do a S curve, and nice. You see, I have to make it 0.1. But what did I do? Oops. Why it has gone bad? Are we in the correct clip? I thought that was already cropped. HG. Something wrong here. saturation temperature, we did that. LUT, it's this is the white balance, and it's the temperature, saturation, exposure. The look node is this, and the LUT is okay. In fact, the mistake I did, I accidentally went into the LUT node, and then I was adjusting it there. So we need to remove that from there. Now it is removed, and the LUT that has to get back to 1. Sorry about this. By accident, instead of editing a different node, I accidentally changed. So before the saturation, okay, exposure is what I was discussing. So instead of clicking on this node, I click on this node, and then I went bizarre. Sorry. So you see this exposure, I can go into 0.1 again. Earlier mistake we did was we went into LUT and then reduced the key output. So you see, slight adjustment, slight adjustment. You can increase the key output. This is extreme, and this is like, it's okay, 0.4 is fine. So the exposure, you see the image is being cropped. Oh, what happened? Is it not cropped? Again, some mistake here. Exposure, timeline. Sorry, instead of cropping, this is fit. When you press Z, press Z is going to fit that image. So it looks like when we did here in the Fusion tab, something went wrong here. Media out. Let me go and see the clip. Another clip. How is it behaving? See that? This is different from this. So what we'll do, for the sake of tutorial, we'll copy this and I'll paste it here. I will continue with a different clip. That clip is unusable anyway because this is my iron shirt. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And then I crop this. Oops. I can crop this. Okay. So the problem with that is it's very tight. Anyhow, so you see the adjustment that we have done here. See, it's crafted further. The hazy look is gone when we do this sort of adjustment on the exposure. So we further to this LUT. LUT's already doing this here, the curve here. We added another S curve, additional S curve, because it is no contrast at all. The LUT that I chose is actually no contrast. I need to add some contrast to image. So this is what I'm actually doing here. You could add contrast here and then adjust the pivot later, but that's not a craftsmanship or workmanship. I don't know what's the word in English I should use there. Okay, so that's what it is in a nutshell. And we worked here, and the only thing which is left now is saturation. You could do the subtractive saturation, density increase, but the problem is it messes with skin. You have many things that you could do here, pulling this to different sides and stuff. Slight tint. Saturation part, I would rather stick to this normal saturation with a little bit of color boost, but I would rather keep it this 0.1. It's very strong. A tiny bit of color boost. You see? Like 4 maybe. And alongside I'm going to adjust the shadows a bit. Highlights I don't have to adjust in this. Saturation, thereabout. From the 50 I'm gonna raise it a bit to 60. That's good. That is good. 57. But keep in mind that I'm using only 0.1% of the actual 57. If you don't adjust this, you're going to get a very strong image. Press Z or Z. Get back. That's it. Done. Now the part is noise reduction. Unfortunately, I don't have noise reduction in this PC. I only have this. The noise reduction part is done in the raw tab, but my current version doesn't have it. Yes, that's it. I hope you did not get too much bored. Of course, there were a lot of mistakes, and while doing so, it's been a while that I edited, so my memory is not that fresh with these techniques. However, I tried to pull as much as I could. So I wish happy learning to you. Keep learning and enjoy the color grading process. Feel free to ask anything that you want to ask. Feel free to correct if there is anything that you want to add. And of course, if you made it to this point, I would request if you could click on the subscribe button. That will help me a lot. I'll see you some other time. Have a good day.